Well, this is the thing with mental health, you know. These days it's a very, very serious and sensitive subject. You know, if something's wrong with your tooth, of course you'll go to the dentist. If something's wrong with your body, then of course you go to the doctor. But if something's wrong with your mind, a lot of people don't go to get their mind checked out. So all I want to say is be kind to yourself. You know, your mind is a weapon. You're not alone.
So mental health is physical health, but for your mind. Was that a definition? Hi, so my name's Alexis, and I am a psychotherapist, a university lecturer, and a clinical supervisor. I work for child and adolescent mental health, and I work as a freelance private practitioner with children, adults, and family members working on their emotional health and their well-being. On the soca scene, I am Carnival Concierge UK. We do rum tastings and all things carnival, bringing it to your home.
Hi everyone, my name's Merzy. As most of you will know me as a soca artist. Living in the UK, background from Grenada and Trinidad. I'm here. I would say it's more just not really feeling yourself. Anything from having, I would say, 3, maybe 4 off days where you just don't feel yourself. When you feel kind of more bad than good. You know, you don't feel like going outside, you just don't feel yourself, really. It's like having an out-of-body experience, I would say. If you experience that more than a couple of times a week, I would say that's probably time to kind of talk to someone, I'd say, yeah.
Hi, my name's Martin J. I've been a radio presenter for 31 years. I started on a radio station called Choice FM in 1990, and I've been a fairly successful DJ within the Caribbean community since then, up until now. Fingers crossed. I think the point in my life that I really questioned whether I could handle it was when Choice became defunct. I had been on Choice FM for 23 years, and then I think it was the 1st or the 2nd of October 2013, Choice then just got wiped off the face of the earth and became Capital Extra. And for me, that was a really, really difficult time. Definitely a time that I went into depression, and I found it really, really, really difficult to cope with just living. It was a very, very difficult time for me.
Blessings, everybody. I'm Supertrini Vibes. I have my own catering company, which I have been doing catering for a very long time. I've been cooking since I was 9 years old, and now I am humbled enough to have my own catering company, which is what I love. Food is what I love. I'm a DJ as well because it goes hand in hand together with catering. I do most of my work mainly with Just Vibes. I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, 100%. There's no like mix and blend. It's 100%. That's why it is Supertrini or Supertrini Vibes. I've been living in England for 19 years, and what I say, England is an acquired taste. It will always be an acquired taste, but I am still thankful for life and being able to take my talents around the world. So that is me. I think most recently, it would be, the most recent one was when I got COVID. And when I got COVID, I had to be hospitalized. Like I got COVID on Tuesday, I was hospitalized on Wednesday. And then I was put in a ward on my own because I have other underlying issues. And from that moment, it was a battle. Like, the battle was, I don't want to be in hospital because I've been in hospital many times before. I don't want to be dealing with COVID because the ramifications of it could put you in so many different places where I don't know what the outcome will be.
Myself, I go by the name of Terrence Callender, aka Jaiga, from Trinidad and Tobago. Back in 2016, I struggled with depression due to the fact that I had, at the time, she would have been now turning 2, had a premature daughter back in 2014, and life caught up with me, if you understand what I mean. You know, a lot of times people think that You know, you go through daily stress in life and go through different things, but at that point in time, so many things was happening at such a rapid and fast time at the time. Lots of things were happening then, and I really didn't understand how to kind of put both of them together. You understand? It was my second child. She came premature, had lots of complications. So life caught up with me, and it was a real big struggle. It was hard for me, like really hard. So I can tell you that was one of the times I faced a situation I really questioned whether I can handle it or not, because while that was happening, I had my career was going a different path, a way that I couldn't see it, and I was struggling to hold on to that, and struggling to support my family, and struggling to be a new dad with a child that had so much needs at the time. You think?
So the stigma within the black community in relation to mental health, I think, is that we don't really realize as black men and black women and Caribbean men and Caribbean women that we're actually fighting the same struggle. Black women, we're made to feel as if we have to be strong, resilient, independent. We can't show any weakness. Equally, black men in the Caribbean community, are made to feel as if they have to be strong, can't show any weakness, need to be independent, and need to be able to hold themselves together and never show any sign of weakness. And I feel like if we can actually just see that we're fighting the same struggle, we could really come together and break through that stigma.
Yo, what's going on? My name's Simbaarley. Yeah, a lot of you know me as Simbaarley, Simba. But yeah, I'm an artist from the UK. I specialize in the genre of soca music, fusing soca and R&B together. So yeah, man, that's me. Yeah, man. I think for me, it was a part of the pandemic. In the last few months of the first proper lockdown, I ended up having to go and speak to a counsellor because I was having I had a lot of, not identity issues, but I think I started to really, the lockdown broke me. I would say lockdown broke me. I didn't really know how to convey how I was feeling. I ended up being diagnosed with ADHD, which is a little bit of a shock to me, only because I work with young people who have different types of disabilities and abilities and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a shock to my system being diagnosed with ADHD as well as something else, which was, it really took me a long time to come to terms, and I'm still dealing with it to this day. People think, it stops, the mental just kind of fades away, depression, anxiety, kind of fades away, and that's not necessarily true. I think it can stay with you, but it is knowing how to understand and deal with these things.
A time in life when I question if I could handle it. There's a few, to be honest. There's a few times I thought things were very hard. The main one would be when my mother passed away. Extremely hard time, not just for me but for my family as well. It was a very tough time. I think that's what kind of started the kind of journey of kind of falling in and out of kind of dark places, if you like. I would say that would be the time that I would say hardest.
From a therapeutic standpoint, what I feel in terms of stigma is that if more black people spoke out about going to therapy, then it would just banish the taboo. I'm a therapist. I go to therapy. Just like if you needed physical health support, you'd go to the GP, you'd go to the gym, you'd train more. And what we need to do is make it normal that going to a therapist to train your mind, to talk about your emotions, to talk about difficulties that you're having from an emotional place, then the stigma will be removed.
I felt useless at that time because I didn't know how to transfer my skills. After spending 23 years of growing and learning as you went along, which is what Choice FM really was, there I was at a point in 2013 where I just didn't know where to turn. And I started to sink into a depression. And I don't think at the time that you actually realize, you don't say to yourself, oh, by the way, you're sinking into a depression. You just start, you don't want to go out nowhere. You know, people be calling you, you don't want to answer the phone. You just want to be at home. And that's what I did. I watched episodes and episodes of NCIS and LA Law and whatever else was on TV. It was just my routine from like 11 o'clock in the morning right through till 4 o'clock the following morning. And it was just a feeling of no self-worth at all. And that's a really difficult stage to pull yourself out of.
Fast forward, I couldn't leave the hospital properly because I couldn't walk. I had to use a Zimmer frame to start back walking again. It was mentally, emotionally, it was the hardest thing I had to deal with because I've played sports all my life. And I mean, all my life I've been playing sports. I play basketball and football. I played football semi-pro. I played basketball at National League level. And to not be able to just get up and go to the bathroom, psychologically, mentally, and emotionally, that feeling that somebody has to help you do that simple thing, when if anybody knows me, I could do everything. There's nothing that I'm not able to do. And if I can't do it, I will say I can't do it. But at that point in my life, when I was on the hospital bed, the only thing I was thinking about was escaping. I called my friends. I messaged my friends and said, yo, if somebody have a truck, I have enough bed sheets inside here, I will climb down the window and I want to get out of here because I knew what it was going to do mentally.
So, a lot of people don't know this, but during the point in time, I used to live on the streets. That was probably one of the worst times in my life, but one of the most life-changing, because within the little space of time, I figured out all who were my people now who weren't. I was down and out completely. Luckily, I got a break and I got on my feet. I am who I am today. But that was crazy. And it happened because of a friend. You know, I put my faith in the friend and I was basically put out. Yeah. I didn't think I could handle it, but I had no other choice, so I guess I had to, and I did. Thank God, here I am. Yeah, I think that was the most impactful part of my life thus far. Yeah, because there's something that I will never forget. That's something that I used to hone all the energies into doing what I do today. Into being who I am, into independence, not depending on people at all. And if I have to, it's always with benefits coming from me, for lack of better terms. That was the time that that was it. That was it. Yeah.
Whew. It would have come right after that. It would have come right after me struggling with depression back in 2016 when my second daughter was born, because finances started to catch up. A lot of hospital bills, a lot of other things started to catch up, and I thought, well, listen, everything was just too much and I couldn't cope at all. So I literally ran, to be honest, you know. I can take it. I flew to England, and I was there for a bit, just kind of abandoned my family and trying to figure out how I could make it work until, you know, had the opportunity to talk to some real good friends, and that is when I started going to therapy. So I started therapy back in 2016.
So with myself, there's times where literally like I literally don't want to speak to anyone. I just want to stay in my house, literally listen to music. Sometimes don't even want to listen to music, just literally stay in my bed. So it's literally seasonal for myself, which is what I go through. Yes, it's hard. You don't always think you're going to come out the other side. You know, your mind is a very dangerous thing, but when you use it right, it's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, that's kind of my answer, really.
So tell us about.
So there's a couple of things that I think removed the Caribbean community from talking about their feelings, from showing that vulnerability. And I think one of those things is definitely that we seem to still align ourselves with this notion of not talking your business out on road. That is definitely one of the problems. This notion of not talking about anything and keeping things shrouded in secrecy, that's the problem. So there's people going through major depression, high levels of anxiety, barely able to leave the house, women and men going through huge amounts of abuse within the family setting, both physical, emotional, sexual, neglect, financial. So many different layers of abuse, and everything is shrouded in secrecy because we can't tell anybody. That's really what we need to stop.
You're not alone. Life was hard and then got harder. Hoping one day that things could change. Trust the process and trust the Father. Don't stress, just take it day by day.